أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي فالحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. This particular series, this is the last session of our series, has been quite a challenge for me, and it has been challenging because these du'as, there's so much that can be said about them, but I wanted to make sure that the discussions we have around them are limited and there's a short amount of time and we can pack as much in as we possibly can. And I'm absolutely certain that I've missed lots and lots of lessons and a great amount of wisdom that can be extracted from all of these du'as. But whatever little we've been able to extract, I'm hoping that it is a benefit for us and it brings us closer to Allah and makes it easy for myself and all of you to have a more meaningful conversation with Allah by means of these remarkable prayers. What I want to start with today is kind of some finishing touches on the phrase لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. We talked about that yesterday. لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. I heard that. You can put it on silent now, young man. Don't hide your face. Okay, put it on silent. Go ahead. I'm watching. Okay. It's all good. Okay. Now, the first thing, additional meanings of Allah does not place a burden on anyone more than their potential, more than their capacity. I talked to you about that before. One, you have different kinds of people that make different kinds of excuses in life. And I hope you're not one of them, but you might know someone, or maybe you refuse to acknowledge that you and I might be of those kinds of people. You hear someone say, well, my God, you like pray 5 times? Like all 5? Like on time? Like every day? Wow, I could never do that. Make dua for me. One day I have tawfiq, I can do that too. Like you have people that when they hear someone obeying the very minimal commands of Allah, make it sound like it's some superpower that you have that they clearly don't have, and Allah didn't give it to them and He gave it to you, and unless they had it, because Allah hasn't given it to them, that's why they just can't do it. Man, I could never wake up like that. Oof, that's insane. Even at work? At college you do this too? That's amazing. And so when someone does that, they're actually not realizing that Allah has said the exact opposite. He would never have placed a burden on you unless He knew that you were capable. And so either you're saying I'm not capable, and Allah is saying yes you are. So who's lying? And if I still claim I'm not capable, then I'm actually claiming that Allah is not accurate in what He said, ma'adallah. So it's a pretty serious thing. He took the excuse out the window. You can't lie to yourself anymore. You can't say, man, I wish I was capable. You already are. Allah already guaranteed it. He would not have given me and you these obligations if He was not clear, if He wasn't in His wisdom, not knowing that we are capable of carrying this burden. That's the first thing. The second interesting thing here is that, Allah gives us responsibilities, and if we don't do what Allah says, then we should feel bad. But sometimes people put pressure on us. And when we don't do what people want, then they make us feel bad. Right? And what happens a lot of times is we refuse to do what Allah wants because we're too worried about doing what people want. I don't want someone to feel bad. That's why I'm disobeying Allah. I don't want someone to make me feel guilty or make me feel like I've abandoned or been disloyal or been, I've hurt their feelings or whatever. And all because of those reasons, I'm now putting their burdens on me. Allah says, you are not responsible for anyone else's burdens, anyone else's feelings. So long as you're good with Allah, then Allah has not placed that burden on you. So a lot of times people, instead of carrying the burden that Allah actually put on them, they take that burden off and they take all these other people's burdens and put them on themselves and live life with, I can't make this one unhappy, I have to make sure they're okay with me, I have to make sure this is done, and people pleasing. Live a life of pleasing people. Allah says the only burden that you're responsible for is your own. And to your capacity, you're not capable of carrying someone else's burden. That's theirs. So if Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas, his mother says, if you become Muslim, I'll stop eating, it's his mom. She raised him and she's starving. He feels horrible that his mom's not eating, but you know what? like I said, the old Texan saying, you can only control your side of the street. So all he can do is what Allah told him to do, and her choice to not eat is not his responsibility. And if she says, you're starving your mother to death, you're killing your mother, you feel good about that? She could say whatever she wants. That doesn't change the reality. She's starving herself. People will use the kinds of words to make you feel like you're doing this to them, even though they're the ones doing it to themselves. You understand? And be clear, when Allah places a burden, it's on you. When other people place a burden, it may not be on you. That just may be manipulation. And it's actually a freedom Allah has given us in this ayah. That the only burden that you have to worry about is the one Allah placed on you. لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا. And then the other thing, now we get into this dua itself. Now we turn immediately to Allah. After Allah says that whatever responsibilities He's given me, I am in fact capable of. Well, even though I'm capable, just because you're capable of doing something doesn't mean you're doing a good job. Right? Doesn't mean you and I are doing what we're supposed to be doing, even though we're capable and we know what to do. And when you are capable and you know what to do and you mess up, here's the first thing. You turn back to Allah, Rabbana, la tu'akhidna in nasina. Don't grab us, don't hold us to account, don't seize us, meaning don't punish us right away. This is actually a meaning of iqab. Don't punish us right away, don't grab us right away, don't hold us to account right away, don't hold me responsible immediately if we forget. The first issue is we forget. We're acknowledging to Allah one of our biggest problems is we need reminders. And when we don't get a steady stream of reminders, then our programming is, we're called insan for a reason. One of the origins of the word insan is nisyan, or forgetful. So just because you know something doesn't mean you'll remember it. Even Musa alayhi salam's student, he's traveling with Musa alayhi salam, وَمَا أَنْسَانِيهُ إِلَّا شَيْطَانًا أَذْكُرَهُ. I forgot. They're traveling and he forgets. Shaitan can make you forget. And so the thing we're reminding ourselves of now is one of the easiest attacks of shaitan, distract you and make you forget. Now about this making us forget, you could forget a responsibility. You're hanging out with friends, doing some work, and you forgot to pray dhuhr. You didn't mean to, but you just forgot. And then you remembered and you apologize to Allah, لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا. Yeah, that's one easy meaning of this ayah. But there are other meanings. You have a purpose in life. There's some talent Allah gave you. I talked to you about that before. There's some skills Allah gave you, some opportunities Allah gave you, some provision Allah gave you. He put you in a certain country, in a certain family, with a certain society around you, and you were supposed to do something amazing with what Allah gave you. And you forget that, and you get too busy entertaining yourself. And you forget that, and you're too busy with, oh man, the last game of the NBA Finals. And you listen to Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullah, and you check the score. You forget what your goal is in life. You forget that you are made for a higher purpose than just feeding yourself and entertaining yourself and talking about people. When people forget about their higher purpose, what the only thing left for them to do is? Talk about other people or entertaining themselves. That's all that's left in their life. This is nisyan also. Ya Allah, don't hold us to account if our lives have become meaningless and all we do is make ourselves feel better by entertaining ourselves and eating and sleeping or talking about others.